Poor start for Rob, it looks like. Oh, look at that, 2 wheels for Tom, and they're both on the grass. And Craig, look at Craig. And Darren and Gary again, side by side. This is a great race between the two. There. Oh, contact, so I think he's taking him. Oh, the up two, well look at that. That was a great pass by Rob. But the lead is still close here. So more great close action racing. Oh, they've gone wide. Welcome to the inaugural FWTC Mini Cooper One Make Series Championship, a support series which will run alongside the FWTC touring cars in Season 3 after the viability was tested in Season 2. The series will run alongside as a support series throughout the whole season, and so let's have a look and see who has entered into the first race here at round 1 at Monza. 8 drivers entered into the first round here at Monza with a real mixture of names. Darren Parker, Tom Foster, Rob Pellet, Mike Kuipers, Gary Black, Mark Nicol and Harry Cook have all entered, as well as the newcomer Connor Hewlett for his first time in the Minis. So let's have a look to see how the cars are gridded up, and let's watch the first race. Here's the grid for the first Mini Cooper race of the season. Then Connie Hewlett is on pole position in the green Mini next to Harry Cook in the Texaco silver livery. On row 2 we got Mark Nicol in his dirty black and red livery next to Rob Pellet in the very familiar Chupa Chups green livery. On row 3 we've got Mike Kuipers in the black and gold livery with Tom Foster in the STP white, red and blue livery. At the back row of the grid, Darren Parker in his Pertec livery with Gary Black in the Texaco black and red livery. Here we go then. It's all fun and games with the support series, but at the end of the day there will be a winner, so there will be some racing, but it's a lot more light-hearted than the touring cars, and it's a very, very slow start for everyone, and even Connor gets a terrible start. Look at that, he's just going nowhere, which actually allows Harry to take the lead, but Rob is very quick to go down into the first chicane on the outside and may take the lead here. And that's a great start for Rob, but Harry isn't going to allow him to go through, and actually no, Rob takes it. So the first chicane is complete. On board with Gary, who's behind Tom. There'll be just 6 laps around Monza. It's about 15 minutes for the race. Already some close contact, and you've got Gary on the back of Mark here, the two very similar looking cars. Oh, Tom's sideways, and that's Gary who's been reset. So Gary's, more contact with Mike, sorry there. So a little bit of contact into that second chicane. Mike slows down right to the back with Connor, who's going just about on the inside of Rob here, but Connor slow out of the corner, and Mike gets back into 5th then, just behind Rob. Mike is sideways. He loves throwing the Mini sideways. So further up we've got Tom in 3rd now, Darren in 2nd with Mark in 1st, taking the lead. Of course at the back, Gary and Harry picking up the pieces after going off. Sounds like a lot of wheel screeching, and that's Rob Pellet who's off, and I think someone else is off as well. I'm not sure. No, it's just Rob who looks like it. So Rob, who did really well in the test run and the Minis at Goodwood, has gone off, and that's actually Gary Black at the back as well, so maybe the two come together. So let's have a little look and find out what happened in that second chicane with Harry and Gary, who also went off there, and find out what happened with Rob and Gary at that third corner. So on board with Tom then, as he goes into the second chicane here. Oh, he just catches the grass as contact, and as you can see there's Rob and Harry going off as well. Tom really lucky to come away in the lead there. On board with Harry, and he's behind Rob, who's leading. Oh, big contact, and then he just goes with Rob into the wall. On board with Mike then, as we watch behind all this action and chaos. There's Tom, who catches the grass, goes into Gary, pushes Gary off, then Tom goes into Mark, Harry's going off, Mike's going off. Just absolute chaos. Let's have a look and find out what happened with Rob. And you can see Mike and Rob both losing it as they go into the corner there. On board with Connor, who's got Mike and Rob in front of him. Straight onto the grass. On board with Gary, Black, and he takes a whoa, almost jumps over the curves there. There's Rob coming back on the circuit, and then he just wheel spins, can't get in control. Oh, he hits the wall quite hard. So onto the second lap then. Darren is taking a commanding lead here with Mark running in a good second, Tom close behind, and Tom has got some fantastic slipstream here, and these minis are really difficult to stop under braking, and they just end up wanting to spin out. Tom with his evolved STP livery from Goodwood, and Darren in keeping his Pertec livery. Mark's gone for something completely different. Further down then we've got Mike running in fourth with Connor in fifth, close behind. Rob's sixth on his own, Harry is seventh, and then Gary is really struggling at the back, and it's a freeway tussle here, and this is fantastic racing between Darren, Tom and Mark. So through the second chicane and down into the next corner, Tom gets ahead of Mark. So Mark goes down to third. This is Connor on the back end of Mike. Connor gets the speed and goes ahead of Mike into fourth, so this is good for Connor, who is still getting to grips with his Subaru in the first round of the touring cars. Oh, more contact! And that's Connor and Mike. It's a commentator's curse. He just lost it, and the both of them go into each other. There's another incident on that last chicane there, and the second time round on the second lap, so it's really proving to be difficult for the guys to keep the car straight through that chicane. Let's have another look at that and find out what happened. On board with Mike with this incident then, as he just follows Connor into the corner, and they both lose it here as you watch, and there they go, contact. So this has allowed Rob to catch up with the back end of Connor and Mike. There's Harry, and Gary really not liking that Mini at the moment. So Darren is still leading, Tom is second, and Mark is much further down. So something's happened to Mark, which is a shame. Let's watch Tom going into the first chicane onto lap 3. You see how much the front end of that car just lifts up as they go around the chicane, but they're just so much quicker and smaller. You can just throw them around those chicanes very quickly. Tom is quite quickly catching up with Darren here. Oh, Tom on two wheels. But this is looking quite a good battle for the lead of the race. Further down, Mark still on his own, but still a good third. Oh, he's off in the gravel. It's going to slow him down. And there's Mike. Mike is also off, so all of the guys are really struggling to get hold of the grips of the Mini. And that goes Rob. So after Rob goes off initially in the first lap, he's managed to get his head down and catch the spaces up after everyone who's really struggling. And there's Connor, who has got past Mike now into fourth after going off slightly earlier on. So Mike drops down to sixth now. Harry is caught up as well. Gary still at the back. There's Mike again off in the gravel. Mike is really finding it difficult to get to grips with that Mini, just like Gary is at the back, it looks like. But Rob, look how quick he's caught up with Connor here. He's going to easily overtake him into fourth, but into the corner. Oh, Connor is tank slapping and manages to straighten up. So Mark Nicol has had an off, it looks like, because Rob has taken third now, Connor's taken fourth, and there's Mark. So something has definitely happened to Mark. We'll have a little look, find out whether he just went off on his own or whether it was down to anyone else. There's Mark sideways on the gravel. Oh, he hits the wall. That's a big impact. Harry goes straight past. So Mark now really struggling to get that Mini round the corners, and in actual fact he's got Gary catching him up. Great fun, these Minis to race, but of course very slow when you do go off. So this proved to be quite chaotic so far. Harry's got up to sixth now, and they're getting round those corners just a bit quicker. What do I say that? That is Harry off into the wall. So Harry goes hard into the wall. Let's have another look at Harry when he goes off in a replay. And that's Mark slowing down, so I wonder if Mark had anything to do with it. There he does, look, he's speeding up now, potentially. Let's watch Harry as he goes into the corner here. It looks like he's on his own, and oh, big contact into the wall. Big contact. On board with Harry. He seems to get the first part of the corner okay, and then just as unsettled. Big contact. So Tom is still on the back of Darren onto lap 5, and he doesn't look any closer to Darren. Looking much quicker into that chicane now. And Tom looking closer around these fast bends here. Oh, some mini cross going on. Into the third chicane and last one. These two are having a fantastic battle here, and Tom is really close behind now, and he's got the potential to overtake. He's in the slipstream. He might just have him. The two side by side. Tom is on the outside for the corner, so he's not in the right position, but he could get the cut back. Oh, he's sideways. Further down, Rob still doing well in third. Connor. This is a strong fall for Connor. Might boost his confidence going into the next round of the touring cars. Gary has managed to get up to 5th now, ahead of Mike. Bit of contact there. It's a push from Mike. So Darren's still leading with Tom close behind. He's looking a lot closer than he was in the previous laps though. Tom hopping over the curbs. This is the final lap, so Tom is running out of time to catch Darren. Look how close he is. Down into the last chicane. Tom is so close to Darren. They are side by side. Oh, contact. Tom's in the slipstream. It's now or never for Tom to take the win. As they come down into the last bend, it's going to be a close one, no doubt about it. Tom on the disadvantage on the outside. He just floors it in the gravel, out of the gravel. But I don't think he's going to get it because Darren is too far ahead now. So Darren takes the win of the first Mini Cooper One Make Series Championship at Monza. Tom is second. Rob's going to come away with third if he stays as he is. The distance between all the guys really shows how difficult these minis are to handle. But I imagine over the time people will get used to them and it'll be a lot closer by the end of the season. Rob's going to take third, a good strong third for Rob. There's Connor, and as you can see he's sideways in his mini as well. Connor showing how much fun and how much roll these minis have. So Connor takes fourth. Gary and Mike are fighting for 5th and 6th here. Who's going to take it? Oh, Mike's going to take it. Maybe Gary's given it to him for an earlier incident. And then Mike, Mark and Harry. Has Harry got enough? Oh! Contact. Darren takes the win then, just ahead of Tom, with Rob in third, Connor a strong fourth, Mike was fifth, Gary was sixth, Mark was seventh, and Harry was in eighth. What this means then in the championship, of course, Darren is leading with an extra point for the fastest lap, and then everyone follows on suit because it's the first race of the season.